every single one of them. And rumor has it, he's got a little girl with him. Would you know anything about that? And when he said that, it's like, oh shit, and she just picks up her bow and arrow and puts it right up at his, like, face. And it's like, oh, I don't think so. And he's saying, come with us. You can survive with us. But if you leave, we're going to hunt you down. She leaves because she's loyal to Joel. Because he's, trying to do the best he can, and he's been helping her. She gets some medicine, brings it back to him, and she injects it with him, and then all of a sudden, after she injects it, she hears them show up, these bandits. He's the leader of them. And my favorite was, I love the bow and arrow with her. With Joel, it's kind of difficult, but with her, the bow and arrow was, like, amazing. There's, like, one of my favorite parts was I snuck out of the main building and I see these 5 dudes right there walking out. This little girl, this 14-year-old girl, grabs the bow and arrow, and I'm just picking people off, like shooting them in the head and the neck with bows and arrows. And the dudes are freaking out, going, what's going on? And it's like, this little girl is beating your ass, killing everyone, but I loved it because you're going around picking them off one by one. And then her sneak attack is running up and stabbing them in the neck, going like that. But he ends up capturing Ellie. And again, something that makes her character great, because this is really where her character is just built up. The guy's being a creep, obviously. He's like trying to hold her hand when she's behind the cell. And so she starts to hold his hand too, and you're like, whoa. And then she breaks his finger, and he falls back. And then she's like, my name's Ellie. Yeah, tell him Ellie. The girl who broke your fucking finger! And it's like, oh shit. That was fantastic. I love that. That makes her best character 2013, hands down right there. But Joel ends up waking up, and one of my favorite parts of him is in the winter too. He goes out, he's still kind of hurt, but he's moving around, and he's got all his gear. He starts taking dudes out, and they run away. They're starting to figure it out, finally going, oh, they're killing everyone. And so, like, you'll shoot one guy, then the 4 will run off, and then you shoot another one, and they run off. And when it's down to 2, he actually ends up knocking them both out, and he takes them back and interrogates them, and that was one of my favorite parts of him. He's like beating this dude with a pole, and then he pulls out his gun and shoots him in the, I think it was in the knee, and then when he doesn't respond, he just shoots him again, and then he like tells him where Ellie's at on the map. He actually gets a knife and sticks it in his mouth, and is like, point, where on the map is she? And he does that, and then he kills him, and then he walks up to the other guy and was like, I'm not telling you nothing, he was telling the truth. And Joel looks at him and says, oh, I believe him. And then just pulls out a pole and just BAM! Kills him. It was just crazy, but it was fucking awesome. Ellie breaks out. She goes after this creeper guy. And it was crazy because when you're fighting him, you're like sneaking around and he's hiding too, so you can't detect him when you do like this sneaking ability where you can find people. But I snuck up on him 3 times, stabbed him, ran off, stabbed him. And finally it's like, okay, maybe he's dead. No, he tries to rape Ellie. He's like, I'm going to kill you, but I'm going to rape you. And also, just to point out how bad these people are, they're cannibals too. Even worse, Joel finds this letter of how much meat they're bringing in, then he looks and sees bodies hanging. He's like, oh shit. Yeah, he tries to rape Ellie, but she ends up grabbing this machete and just beats it over his head, just slicing it up. And Joel walks in and grabs her, and she's like, get off of me! And he's telling her, it's me, just calm down, it's me. And then it cuts to the final season, fall, which was, the ending. Spring. Ellie is pretty much a completely changed person now. She's damaged. This world is affecting her. After something traumatizing like that happens to you, it's kind of understandable. But, so yeah, that all goes down, and then they end up making it to this hospital. Ellie gets taken in, and Joel got knocked out. When he wakes up, he's like, what's going on? And she's like, oh, we're prepping Ellie for surgery, there's nothing you need to worry about. And he's like, well, I want to see her. No, you can't see her. She's going to die. And he's like, what? She's going to die? And yeah, they had to extract something out of her brain. So even, well, Joel was like, I don't think so. And I'm like, yeah, I don't think so either. I don't care. And by the way, in this game, I forgot where it was, but you find these artifacts, collectibles, but there's this piece of paper written out that shows they went through 12 immune subjects and all of it failed. And when you think about it, they don't have the proper resources to try to create a cure. So if they kill Ellie, it's not like, oh, we kill her and then everyone's fixed. It's going to be, oh, we kill her and then maybe everyone's fine. It's just a maybe. But you get to, Joel just gets pissed and he gets his gear and he just he cleans house and kills everyone in there. He gets in the operating room and there are 3 doctors. One reaches for a gun. I remember I had my shotgun out and just went BAM! Killed him. BAM! Killed the other one. And the other one's on the ground going, don't kill me! I pulled out my shotgun. Boom! And then you grab Ellie and you start trying to run out and there's soldiers everywhere and it's playing this really sad music. You're trying to run out of the hospital and you make it out and then you run into the Queen of Fireflies. And she's like, no, she is the cure. She's the only thing left to save humanity. And he's like, no, and shoots her. And in the stomach, and he ends up putting her in a car, Ellie, and when he comes back, the woman's like, just let me go, please. And he's like, no, you'll just go after her, and shoots her in the head. And then it shows them driving off. And they end up making it into the woods, and you play as Ellie again. You're following Joel. And you get through there, and Joel's like pretty much accepted her finally completely as like almost a father-daughter relationship. And they make it back to where Tommy is his brother, the town, Jackson, and he tells her, listen, there were already a bunch of immune people like you, and it didn't work. Humanity's just screwed. Well, of course he lied, but at the very end, so in the last word, she says, is it true what you told me? Swear to me that it was true. And he just looks at her and says, I swear. And she says, okay. And the game ends. It's like, oh, shit. I like the ending. I know some people might think Joel did the wrong thing, but I think he did the right thing. If it had been like a definite thing, like, okay, humanity will be saved, 100% positive, it's like, okay, the sacrifice is worth it. But it was a maybe, and if 12 other subjects died and nothing was successful, why are you going to sacrifice Ellie's life? You end up going through over 16 hours with these characters, and it's like, I'm not going to let her die. I ran through that hospital cleaning house because I wanted to protect her. So I love the story, the graphics, some of the best graphics I've ever seen in a video game, period. They are so realistic. The shadowing effects are even better than Alan Wake's shadow effects, like with the flashlight and everything. The voice acting, top-notch, perfect. The facial expressions, when they talk, when you just are walking down a street and people are standing there and you see their eyes just turn, but none of the rest of their body turns, you're like, oh shit. The graphics, some of the best I've ever seen, period. Story I loved. The score is fantastic. Voice acting, amazing. And $60, it is a must-buy. If you own a PlayStation 3, buy this game. Don't rent it. Buy it. It is totally worth it. And supposedly, we may be getting a sequel to The Last of Us. If they don't want to do it, I'm fine with this being standalone, but it'd be pretty cool to see what happens if we get to continue their story. I love the characters. And yeah, this game gets a 10 out of 10 from me. Highest rating I can do. This is the best game of 2013, and I imagine it's probably going to hold up as being the best. I know we have some heavy hitters coming out. I'm looking forward to Beyond Two Souls for the PlayStation 3. GTA 5, yeah, it's going to be good, but is it going to have a story like The Last of Us? I don't think so. I think when it comes right down to it, like last year, the big competitors were The Walking Dead and Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 had the open world like GTA 5 is going to have and the massive thing, but The Walking Dead had one of the best stories in a video game that whole year. I think that's how it's going to be with The Last of Us and Beyond Two Souls versus GTA 5. Yeah, GTA 5 might have the open world and all the hours and hours and hours, but The Last of Us, 16 hours, an amazing story, one of the best stories in a game this year, some of the best characters in a game this year, best graphics. I mean, Last of Us so far is my personal favorite game of the year. It's a 10 out of 10. So far, it's Game of the Year contender for me. But we'll have to see after Beyond Two Souls and GTA 5. Alright everyone, thank you very much for sticking with me throughout this review. I hope you enjoy it, but please, I implore you, buy this game if you have a PlayStation 3. Buy it. Or if you don't have a PlayStation 3, now's the time to buy one. The prices are being cut big time. And get The Last of Us with it and Beyond Two Souls and, you know, just wow. What a game, seriously. Alright everyone, thank you for watching. This is eman 149 signing out.